What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the Hummer H1 Alpha US Wildlife Watchers, which is part of Season 4 update here on the Crew 2. Now, this is basically the off-road Contractor DLC compared to what we had with the cabs before. And I gotta admit, this one's pretty fun so far. Taking a look at this Hummer, though, if you do want to get this, you will have to hit level 33 in the Motor Pass, which isn't too bad. And I gotta say, this Motor Pass is definitely looking a lot better already than the other one we had, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't bad, but this one has some dope vehicles, including the Koenigsegg Yamera. Now we have this dope-looking Hummer, which I feel like when I saw this thing in the update, I was like, whoa, that thing looks pretty awesome. Just look at the size of the tires on there. If you are wondering, I did notice a bit of a difference with the handling on this as well when I was driving it. This thing can eat turns really nicely. I can't wait to see how it actually drives doing the Contractor missions. I will be taking it in a couple of those to test it out, mainly because I feel like that's what most people will be using this thing on. Anyway, let's go see if we can customize it. So I'm sure many of you probably already guessed there's not much that can be done to this truck. You can change the color if you would like. You can also put the Ubisoft colors if you want to change the one that's already on there. But I kind of like the regular like steelish white silver color that's already on the truck. I think it looks really nice. You can also do like a metallic and all these other colors if you want. You can also remove the livery. But personally, I kind of like how it looks on there. It gives it like that actual like off-road rescue unit kind of truck feel. So I'm going to leave that on there. And when it comes to visual parts, you could just change the rims, any of the Ubisoft rims that are in the game, which is over 80. I think people wanted these to be updated. Hopefully, we'll see something on that in the next game or later on an update. Who really knows? You can also do the caliper color, but depending on what your rims are, you really can't see them anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. But anyway, let's go do a spin around of the truck right now. So here's what the vehicle actually looks like. I gotta say, they did a good job with designing this thing, and it really makes you go, wow, I guess you can't customize it, mainly because it already is heavily customized. See the little dangerous animal thing in the back there. Nice steel bumper. Looks good with the exhaust coming out the side there. And those huge beefy tires, which surprisingly do make a difference. And they also have the detail of the suspension in there as well. Got the side of the truck there with the nice mirrors. And then we have the crates on top, which kind of funny with those, how they're not strapped down. You guys will see with that in a little while here. But besides that, you got the nice front bumper, the winch on the front there. The truck looks absolutely amazing, and I do like it. I was really interested in it when I saw it. So anyway, let's go drive it and do a top speed run on it, and then I want to take this thing into some Contractor races and see how it does in those. Now, arriving outside with the new Hummer here, I gotta admit, this truck's design looks amazing. I gotta keep mentioning that because I really do like what they've done with it. I know some of these vehicles that they've brought out, people are like, what? Like, what is that? But luckily, this thing is pretty cool looking, so let's go right into the interior real fast here. So you guys will notice that it is pretty much going to be a Hummer H1. Nothing too crazy there when it comes to that, but I do really like how the inside of these look. It looks insane. Let's listen to it. And to my surprise, well, I wanted to mention, the tires actually do something on here. When I'm doing the Contractor races, you guys will see the handling of this thing is pretty dang insane. Also, there's a little funny thing on top of this with the crates. You guys notice that they're not locked into the truck at all. So when you turn, they turn with it, which is pretty funny. Nice little attention to detail there with it. But let's go drive this thing now and see if we can get it to. So acceleration right away. Driving the Hummer, I gotta say, it's probably going to be on par with many of the other rally raid vehicles. Probably nothing too crazy there with that. But the top speed's what I'm really looking for after driving the V8 Defender. That thing was a little depressing on how fast it could get to at like 160. The truck's still pretty good, but I feel like when it comes to speed, it's not the greatest. So let's do some Nitro Chemist on this Hummer right now. So any Nitro Chemist, you guys immediately notice I already flew past the top speed of the Defender, so this thing's already faster than that one is. Let's keep going and see if we can actually get it to. So 178 miles an hour is going to be topped out on this thing, which is pretty close to the other Raptor. It's like 180. A lot of the rally raid vehicles can actually hit 180. So nice to see this thing pretty dang close to there. I'm kind of surprised with that, and the handling of this truck with the speed is going to be pretty dang amazing on races. Can't wait to see how it'll do. And then driving it back and forth, you'll see the crates completely slide everywhere. Not sure if you guys are actually like seeing that when racing. It might be a little weird or whatever. But it's kind of cool attention to detail there for the most part. Anyway, let's go jump into some Contractor races right now and see how it does in those. So jumping right into the first Drivers Wanted race here, let's start this thing up right now. So this will be a short distance one just to see how this thing will actually do. So 1.6 miles, fly up that way. Awesome, we can fly up a mountain with it. So let's do some acceleration here. I'm really interested to see how this truck will do on bumps and all that and how it handles around trees, because we all know these Contractor missions take you in some places these trucks really do not belong. I think that's what makes it so much fun though. So far it's actually very stable, which was one of my favorite things about the Hummer. I'm actually going to have to go in first person to climb up this mountain. One of my favorite things about the Hummer, though, was the fact that you can actually go over bumps. And I remember in the Crew 1, the Hummer H1 Alpha that was in the Rally Raid was absolutely insane. Everyone ran it because this thing literally just ate jumps and bumps for breakfast. And I'm seeing the same kind of thing with this one as well. It just doesn't have any issues with it. So here's stability going down the mountain. And it sounds like I have a cheetah or something in the back of my truck. Look at that, right down the mountain, no issues at all. I actually did this exact same one, and oh, look at that. That could not have went any better. Wow. I flew down the mountain a lot better than I thought there. I actually went down the same exact one here with the V8, and that thing was failing on that area, so this thing ate that mountain with no issues. So there's the first one completed. Got the tip there, no issues at all, plus the cheetah getting pretty angry at me in the background there. I would be getting mad too if I was flying down a mountain, probably jumping all over that crate back there, but let's go jump into another one. So I figured I'd do one more Driver's Wanted race here with the Hummer and go over my final thoughts on this thing so far. So let's start this up right now. I'm over here by the Off-Road HQ, so 5.9 miles. Not too bad as I almost drive into a rock, and I cannot talk right now. Anyway, so jumping right into this, guys. So what are some of the things I really like about this Hummer so far? Well, I gotta admit, this thing is really fun to drive, and where is this thing taking me right now? Okay, if anybody's trying to do these off-road ones, remember that sometimes the little beacon thing that shows you where to go is completely on some other stuff. So do keep that in mind when doing this. I don't have to drive around this direction here. Shouldn't be too bad. So, what are some of the things I noticed when driving this? Well, I gotta admit one thing. The handling on this truck is honestly really impressive. I was driving a little bit on the road, and I'm surprised how fast it can go around turns and it doesn't slide or anything. This truck will probably be pretty dang good in a race. And I might even take it into one after this as well, just do a short little race with it, maybe the high-speed drifter, just to test it out and see how it will do in one of those, because I feel like this thing could actually compete in summits and stuff with how it actually drives. It's honestly really impressive, so let's do a little top speed run test over here with hitting all the rocks, which is a challenge in itself, not hitting a rock in this area. Do keep in mind when driving this thing, you're also hearing nothing but a cheetah. I think that is making a lot of sounds whenever you hit the littlest thing, so do keep that in mind. Going back into first person here, so overall, I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite rally raid vehicles they've added into the game so far, just by looks and driving ability and all that. It's honestly really impressive. I mean, I don't think you really can go wrong driving this thing around. If you want to do some races in it, I feel like it would do great in that as well. Many people are probably wondering, well, can you actually use it in summits, or is this thing worth using over some of the best rally raid vehicles? Now, to be honest, I don't think it will replace, like, the Raptor, because I feel like many people will be using that. The other issue with this is a paid vehicle in the Motor Pass, so that's the only big drawback to it. If you do want it, you have to buy the Motor Pass. But nonetheless, though, at least they give us some cool vehicles like the Yamera. And this thing, I really am liking these a lot. I haven't driven the van yet, but once I get that, I'll have a video on that thing as well. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to drive this thing on the railroad track now. So one thing I noticed with Nitro Chemist on this Hummer is it maintains its speed very nicely as well. So these tires, being as beefy as they are, seem to make a big difference with how it drives, with its handling. So, like, let's shift a little bit off-road. Look at that. It doesn't even lose any, like, grip or anything, just messing with the handling there. Going 140. A lot of vehicles could spin out, and this thing has no room to do that at all. I'm honestly really impressed. I gotta keep saying that. I mean, they did a great job with this thing. When I saw it in the trailer, I knew it was going to be a good vehicle just by the looks of it. The Hummers have always been good in the crew, and I feel like this one is definitely no exception. Maybe we'll see more of this in summits and all that, and or events and stuff like that. So riding off-road right now, I mean, look how stable this thing is going over bumps. Literally no issues at all. It can hold itself. It can actually dodge things if it needs to pretty easily. It doesn't sit in one place like some of the other rally raid vehicles do, which is an issue. Or you try to turn them and drive them out of the way of something, and they just can't do it, or they just don't have too much steering ability. That's definitely an issue with some of these. So right there, let's hit the brakes a little bit. Look at that. Right down that mountain with no issues at all. It didn't even lose itself. I ran over those other bumps. This thing is insane. I'm going to jump into a race where this thing needs to be tested out in there, and I just... Anyway, guys, to pretty much sum it up, if you are thinking about getting the Motor Pass, definitely really consider it, because some of the vehicles in this one are awesome. This Hummer is well worth it. It handles really well. It eats bumps and jumps with no issues at all. It doesn't have any issues with stability, and my goodness, is it pretty dang fast. This thing is definitely a competitor, and you get the extra option of those lovely things sliding around on top of your truck there, plus the cheetah screaming when you're doing the lovely contractor missions. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the Hummer H1 Alpha. This thing is absolutely insane. It is well worth a look if you are leveling up this Motor Pass. And here are the settings I'm running on my Hummer H1 Alpha US Wildlife Watchers.